this movie was one of the better twos out of everything, I think.
Out of all the Deuces we've done?
Yeah.
Besides Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, I would say this is definitely the best Deuce that we've deuced.
Yeah. Out of all of them, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Deuce. This is the second best Deuce.
The second best Deuce.
Deuce.
Okay.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. The man, he's not human.
Universal Pictures presents Halloween 2. More of the night he came home.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast. This Thursday, we are wrapping up our Droppin Deuces, the second run series.
Our Halloween edition.
This is our Halloween edition. And to end it fittingly on a movie that is synonymous with Halloween.
Why would that be, Brock?
Because it's called Halloween 2.
It's the most Halloween of all Deuces.
Yes, and it is not the Rob Zombie one.
No, it's not.
Which nobody can seem to remember. Like, it's there, but
nobody cares.
And it was released, if you're listening to this on Friday, it's October 30th. It was released on October 30th, 1981, which we are releasing this on October 29th.
Correct. So just wait until the 30th to listen to it.
Yes, there you go. So it's like we didn't even mean to for that to happen. And I just noticed that today whenever I was doing a little bit more research. This movie, out of all of the Deuces that we have dropped over the years now, this is one of the better Deuces.
Yeah, it's the second best Deuce.
Yes. Yeah. Besides Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deuce.
Part 2, yeah, which is the best Deuce.
Yes.
And the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
100%. 100%. That was like the way. It's very seldom that a part 2 of any movie, of course, if we're dropping Deuces, the sophomore effort. Yes. Besides, like, I mean, some bands that's more applicable to like music almost. But
yeah, usually the second album's like what they really wanted to put out.
Yeah.
First one's a sellout album, that's fine.
Yeah, that gets them into the mainstream, and the second one they come through, except for like Weezer's second one, which is fucking awesome. Weezer Pinkerton, yeah, one of the best albums ever.
I like a lot of second albums.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, hey, this is really us.
Stone Temple Pilots second
album,
one,
yeah.
Fucking great.
All of their first album.
Yeah. But as far as like movies go, there's a lot of Deuces. This one, though, actually does pick up in a weird way. It's almost it's a piece of drop culture in a way that, yeah, there is a certain faction of horror movie files that really love Halloween 2, which I've come to find out. It was one of those that I don't even think one of the people that has been on this has ever really seen it. I don't think Tyson ever saw Halloween 2. He didn't even know it.
Really?
You know? Yeah, and that's why it prompted me to watch it last year, because I was like, no way.
Right.
Yeah, I remember part 2, but this one, if you've watched Halloween, which everybody pretty much has at this point, the highest grossing independent movie of pretty much all time, adjusted for inflation,
made for like $300 and something thousand.
Went on to gross $75 million or something.
It's between $60 and $70 million, a little bit debatable there, but still, regardless. And you know, really, this movie was made for $2.5 million, so quite a bit bigger budget, but also did pretty well for the time. I mean, it made 10 times its money back.
Yeah, 25.5.
Yeah, off a $2.5 million investment, that's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. What I like about the Halloween series altogether is, yeah, for one, he's a universal monster, which is crazy to think about. Then he went to New Line and stuff like that. I mean, the house that Freddie built. And then, New Line kind of fucked up a lot of these guys later on because they just kind of like threw shit at the wall and hopefully it stuck.
That would have been the 4, 5, 6 section, maybe? Or is that later? 6?
That's the later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking like H2O and all this
Oh,
stuff like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when that was. Okay.
Yeah, because Jason Goes to Hell was a New Line production too, which I love that movie. I do.
It was okay.
But it's not. There's a lot of things that went wrong. I mean, even the Freddy movies were getting a little fucked up.
Yeah, Freddy went sideways there.
Right. But Halloween 2 honestly expanded the mythos of Michael Myers. Well, it gave us that he was, and now before the 2018 Halloween came out, this was more in line with the real canon.
Right.
I really consider Halloween 1 and 2 like really good, continuations of each.
This is the one that establishes that Laurie is his sister.
Yes.
Because even though I think that was the intention of John Carpenter, it was never really said in the first one.
Right. Well, I always thought that the reason why he went after Laurie Strode is she was the one that walked up to the door.
Right.
She just walked up to the door to drop off the key, with the little shit with her. She's like, watch me. And then he saw her first and then decided to go after her. Right. But yet he killed all of her friends first, It's kind of weird. This one still...
They weren't as elusive as she was.
Right. This one picks up exactly where the first one ended.
Yeah, so I had to actually go back and watch the end of the first one because I couldn't remember. It'd been a long time since I watched the original Halloween, and I couldn't remember if he disappeared at the end of the first one or if they just added that in for the second one. He absolutely does disappear, and that really brings more gravitas to the whole character.
Yes.
So I'm glad that was the case.
Well, yeah, he does do that.
But I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it's weird because he does the swan dive off the back. You don't see his footprints, but you see his outline on the grass, right? You don't see which way he went.
No, but you can hear him all around. It's like...
And it's the same way with the newer 2018 one. They did the same thing to where you could hear the mask or somebody breathing
through the mask.
Yeah. So, now if you put all these together, I even though the 2018 one, they kind of disregard this one and they
disregard everything but the first one, right?
The first one, yeah. Right. So that the 2018 is a direct sequel, which kind of in the same way you could almost put Halloween 1, 2, and then Halloween 2018 would be Halloween 3.
Gotcha.
It could work.
Don't they kind of not? Do they play on Laurie Strode being his sister?
Yeah, they say that was like a urban legend or something like that. They do mention it.
That's right. Because that's the one where she's like living in the compound or whatever.
Yeah. She's like a fucking badass.
Yeah. Well, she's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, but she's a badass in everything that she redid. Whenever she died in Halloween Resurrection, she just fell off the roof or something like that. Ooh. Ouch.
That would probably suck.
Yeah, it would. So
let's talk about the production of this. Let's get in that, but we'll get into some of the main players here in just a minute. I thought it was really interesting that nobody that made the first one really wanted to make this one.
Yeah, no, it was great.
They didn't want a sequel. And I know Carpenter wanted to do more of an anthology, which is what we got with
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3, right? Yeah. A different story altogether.
Well,
semi-connected.
Yeah, it was more in line with most of the EC comics and things like that. To do Tales from the Crypt type stuff, and every year. And now that was a formula that even Friday the 13th was supposed to go too. Is every year they were supposed to do another fucking Jason movie and shit like that.
Well, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, it got to a point where it was
Takes Manhattan. If they would have made one every year, we would have had Takes Beijing.
Yeah. How does he get there?
Jason in Space. Oh, we did get that one.
Yeah. Well, that was the end all one. Jason X. It was the Andromeda movie.
Yes. He's with David, or was it David from Prometheus.
Oh yeah. Nanobots.
Yeah, we're gonna tie those together.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, they
I
haven't.
digress.
Yeah, they haven't because they did Leprechaun in space, but they never did Michael Myers in space.
They don't need
great.
to. Yeah, they don't need to.
Nope.
But yeah, I thought that was really interesting that nobody really wanted to make this movie except for the studio,
Right.
Which is why Carpenter was like, "Yeah, we'll write it, we'll produce it, but I'm not directing it."
Yeah, he's just gonna he drank to get through it.
Yeah.
Budweiser and cigarettes.
Yep.
Probably a lot of weed too. You know,
They
just
don't
so-
talk about his left-handed cigarette stone.
He did the music for it too.
Yep. As John Carpenter is known to do.
Right. Which I think he did the score for this one. No, the first one.
First one.
In like 3 days or some
Yeah.
bullshit, crazy shit like that. His really synth heavy music because they did a test screening for the first one and it had no sound in it, but it didn't have the tension. Then he added that shit into it, and then you get this very, very tense kind of a deal. But what I like about this one too, if you compare it to the supposed continuation with Halloween 2018. You see a lot of they stole a lot of the same kind of shots from this one, the long shots, the tracking shots of him looking through the windows
Right.
and different things like that, which were really cool. So they brought in that, and the
Some
director
really cool shots of him like coming out of the shadows too.
Right. Oh man, there's a lot of really the way that they lit the place because it was in this hospital that's
In California, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Apparently, Haddonfield. Even though there's
in the story, of course, it's Haddonfield, Illinois.
Right.
But it was actually a hospital that right close to the set, I'm sure.
Yeah,
somewhere in California.
So there is the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. Even though there's only like 5 people working, the hospital's got to have people in it, right? But
Right.
where is everybody? Even after the explosion, they don't even get up.
There's no people. Haddonfield don't have nobody in the hospital.
Yeah, but it's weird because they just had a mass murderer and only like
And like 8 people died. And
yeah, there's only like
I
one.
guess there was only a couple survivors from it.
Yeah, but there was only one ambulance
Yeah.
that supposedly would have brought everybody back, right?
You would think.
They would always be gone throughout that whole deal. They're like, well, we can't pack them in here like sardines.
Yeah.
We got to take our time, right?
Yeah.
Laurie was the first one. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Rick Rosenthal was actually the director of this. And the only other thing that I know that he directed was Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, he came back for that one.
He came back for that one. I mean, he's done a few other movies, but I've never seen any of them. Bad Boys, but not the one you think it is. It's like from 1983 or something like that. Some movie called Ruskies.
Oh, Ruskies? Oh, shit. Damn.
I haven't seen any of these movies. Just a little harmless sex. Distant Thunder.
God damn, Halloween Resurrection was 2002.
But that's the one I remember was Halloween Resurrection. That was the one that caught my eye.
Holy shit, he did The Birds too.
I saw that for TV.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, about that.
He does not have a Fall Guy credit, which, you know.
Kind of puts him out.
Yep.
Sorry about you, brother.
Sorry.
But he does have 7 episodes of Smallville that he directed.
Okay.
So we'll give him, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he did a couple of those.
Okay.
So, we'll give him a little something.
Yeah, a little bit of gravitas there.
Yes.
Yeah, of course it was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill.
Yes.
As we talked about. It's kind of, like you said, everybody was like, I don't want to do this shit. And then we get
why
in.
they did it? Money.
Yeah, well, they didn't get any money from the first one.
I know.
They didn't get shit. So, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis plays Laurie Strode. You got Donald Pleasance back as Sam Loomis. Now, the cop, Charles Cyphers, right?
Yes.
He was Lee Brackett.
Yes.
How
many Fall Guy credits does he have?
I don't know. Probably a lot. That's what I'm thinking. He's a Fall Guy dude. You know what I mean?
He seems a little Fall Guy.
He was on Major League.
There you go.
The Fog, Assault on Precinct 13. He's been on a lot of that stuff.
He's a character actor,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I don't see any Fall Guy credits.
Well, then he doesn't count.
Nope, he didn't make it. Hill Street Blues, though. I mean, that's there. And he's got a Matlock and a Dallas.
Oh, okay.
So you throw those in there, you're doing pretty
right.
good. Yeah, doing pretty good. And the Starsky and Hutch, he's got 3 on that.
Wow.
So that's pretty good.
That's some street cred right there.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Huggy Bear approves.
And then Pamela, let's not forget Lance Guest. Yes. Lance Guest, the last Starfighter, was in so many different movies back in the day that never were like huge. Even though Lance Guest was a decent actor, you know, I mean, he still is. I'm not saying he was or anything. He's not passed away or anything. But he was on Jaws: The Revenge. You know, he was Home Dude's son that had grown up. Man, he
was on The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, fucking Last Starfighter was the shit.
Yeah.
And yeah,
he was the son, right? On
Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Yeah, he ended up, him and Mario Van Peebles went into the ocean to fight. And I always remember, like, I saw one version of that movie where Mario Van Peebles actually lived.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, no way, he lives. I know I've seen it, right? Maybe I'm wrong. But I saw him, like, with bandages on and shit, sitting in the boat and stuff like that. And I was like, man, he lived. And nobody believed me. Like, anybody really gave a shit. But, you know. So, yeah. Lance Guest, I mean,
you've been on a lot of TV shows, too.
Yeah, I mean, you've always seen him there. And The Last Starfighter is such a bitchin' movie.
Fuck yeah.
Such a great, great, great movie.
I mean, heck yeah.
Yeah. And then, who do we got here? Hunter Von Leer as Gary Hunt. Pamela Susan Shoop as Karen. And then we have Handsome Dick Warlock.
Yes.
Dick Warlock is a world-famous stuntman.
He was Kurt Russell's stuntman for like 20-something years, right?
Yeah. The Thing. Yeah. Fucking Inner Space. Escape from New York. Firestarter. The dude has a fucking resume.
He was in Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi one.
Yeah? Because I think he did some shit for... there was another movie that we had talked about. It was probably The Thing that he was on, you know.
Well, yeah, and he also did stunts on Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
Not as Dick Warlock, but as Richard Warlock.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to look through the credits, you can find that.
Yeah, Halloween 3.
Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Yes.
He was the stunt coordinator for that.
Ooh. I mean, see, Commando.
He was on Magnum P.I.
Oh, he's got a Magnum P.I.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I don't see one credit for...
I didn't know he was in Halloween 3.
Yeah, I saw that right there.
I didn't even know that.
Alien Nation, which is a great movie too. The Running Man, Inner Space, Spaceballs.
Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo.
Damn.
He did the stunts in Soylent Green, uncredited.
Huh.
How awesome was that? Blazing Saddles as an uncredited stuntman.
Damn. The Perfect Weapon. He had a lot of great ones.
Jaws,
The Rocketeer.
The Green Berets from 1968.
Casino.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So, yep. That's what we're going to say. In 2002 was the last film credit that we have right here. So he's still kicking it.
Yeah.
But maybe he's taking that little piece. Because apparently Dick Warlock saw The Mask in the studio offices or something like that, put it on, walked to the director's office, and just stood there and stared at him and like made him feel like fucking uneasy as shit. And then he was like, and then he took the mask off and was like, hey, can I play Michael Myers? He was like, yes, you got the part.
Yes, you can.
You have it. But he was also patrolman number 3 in this one. So I don't know which one he was.
Well, who else played Michael Myers in this movie?
What's his name? Ben Tramer.
I was thinking of Nick Castle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
In the older stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Castle. Nick Castle was Michael Myers and still is.
Yeah. The original, right?
Yeah, he reprised his role in 2018.
He also co-wrote Escape from New York.
Yes.
And then directed. There's a lot of Last Starfighter stuff in here.
Yeah.
Because he directed Last Starfighter. He directed The Boy Who Could Fly. Dennis the Menace. Major fucking pain.
Major fucking pain. Awesome fucking movie. You know what, too? I don't remember ever seeing Laurie's mom and dad. Because were they partying?
No, they never came back or something, right?
They couldn't find them.
Yeah, that was what it was.
So that it's weird that they're credited. But I'm like, huh.
I don't remember seeing them.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
Yeah, I don't remember. Tony Moran, of course, when in the archival footage. He was the original first on-screen fucking face of Michael Myers.
Yes.
So I got his autograph. That's the one I got.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on a big butcher knife, fake one or something like that.
Oh, I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
pretty cool.
Nice.
Other than that, though, I mean, there's some dudes that you'll recognize, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that you're going to be like, huh?
You're not going to recognize these people.
No. Like Hunter Von Leer, never seen him hardly anything else. Who was the dude that was like, I'm just a fucking loser or something like that? Leo Rossi.
Yeah.
You've seen him on a lot of stuff, but you're
not going to know it. You're just going to be like, hey, he looks familiar.
I thought he was on the Last Starfighter too, but nope.
So I know we haven't had much in the way of Fall Guy tie-ins, and that's an important piece of anything happening. But Ford Rainey is in this movie, and he actually played the adopted father of the $6 Million Man in the TV show.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So there's your tie-in.
There we go.
Majors, 2 degrees of Fall Guy.
2 degrees of Fall Guy. Everybody's at least 2 degrees of Fall Guy or 2 degrees of Walker, Texas Ranger.
That's right. 6 degrees of ecology.
Yes.
global warming. That's what it was.
Now, wasn't the dentist somebody too? What was he was another one. I mean, and then you had the
yeah, I think pretty much like you said, everybody else is just kind of. Did we talk about Jimmy?
Which was Jimmy?
The paramedic?
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about him?
That was the Leo Rossi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure we didn't miss him because he's such an important part of this film.
I know, just for a second.
For 2 seconds, yeah.
I know. Which he's just like a fucking weirdo.
And we'll talk about the alternate version where he lives. Or like they show him alive in the TV version of this.
Oh.
He's in the back of the ambulance at the end.
Oh, yeah. And we do get to see the nurse from the first one, Nancy Stevens.
Yep.
So she has a returning role in a lot of the different movies. So she was in like H2O. She was in fucking Halloween 1 and 2, Escape from New York. And then 2018. And then also Halloween Kills, same character. So she's the one that's carrying the torch beside Jamie Lee Curtis. Right. She was one of the first ones smoking some parliaments in the very first movie. They just let them walk around out here? No. Shit. That's fucked up. Yeah. So, all right. You want to get into the movie?
Let's do it.
But the one that is weird is Dana Carvey.
Yeah. For sure. Super bit role. He's just an assistant in the movie. Yeah. Dana Carvey.
Yeah,
Brock's
I'm gonna have to rewatch this one again just for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, and then of course they had Annie from the first one. She was in it just as a dead chick.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's just been not. It was cool that they brought back the characters to get you that feel again,
right?
Kind of open it up. So now,
originally this movie was supposed to take place some years later.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like 4 or 5 years later,
and it was supposed to take place in a high-rise apartment building.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Yeah,
so kind of like Judge Dredd.
Oh,
the new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been awesome, dude.
Probably not like that, but you know what I mean.
Michael Myers is Judge Dredd. You never see his face. He's just behind that weird mask and he can't die.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if we pick up the movie where it ended, of course, this is October 31st. It's Halloween. It's about, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right?
I think it's earlier than that. There's lots of kids out.
Yeah, I know. They're still like trick or treating.
Yeah. So, for like the next portion of the movie.
Let's say 9:30.
Yeah, so let's say 9:30.
Not 10. Ben Tramer's walking around all drunk and shit. You know what I mean? So
Ben Tramer, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, right. So he's been going after these people for, I think the whole
portion of the day.
Since the morning, because they saw him walking across some field or some shit, they said. So he gets shot, and he takes that swan dive off the balcony, and then
he gets shot a lot.
Yeah, Loomis shoots him like 7 times.
6.
I counted.
I thought it was 6.
I counted. I swear to God, it was like 7 shots.
Didn't he have a 6-shooter?
Yeah, I know exactly. That's why I was like, "That's weird." Yeah, I counted
I even
7.
think he says 6, doesn't he?
Yeah. He keeps saying he shot him 6 times, but maybe I heard the 7th one was a phantom. But I really think it was literally he shot him the first time, and then he and then he shot him the other 6 times in a row, and that's when he jumped over.
Okay.
So
when he jumped over,
yeah, because he pretty much does.
Right.
I mean, it's a balcony; he doesn't even fall down. So Lori's still all fucked up, and she just like hanging out there.
Yeah, and they even don't they do some lines at the beginning of this that were at the end of the other one where they're just talking about how is he the boogeyman and all that. I think they kind of rehash that a little bit.
Yeah, because he is really the boogeyman.
He is. He's the boogeyman. No wonder Rob Zombie did this movie.
Right. I'm your boogeyman. No, so this is where we see that really interesting shot where he's still walking, right? Obviously, he's a little fucked up, but yet he's because he got the hanger to the eyeball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which she thought killed him, but it didn't. It was just a fucking wire hanger.
Yeah. No wire hangers ever.
And then
settle down, mommy dearest.
Yeah. And then that's whenever he goes into the house.
Old people's home.
Yeah.
And just because that lady reaches back to grab her knife because she's got that eerie feeling, I guess.
There's blood there.
There's blood and no knife.
Mm-hmm. And then he's still creeping, and he goes to hear that one woman.
But he doesn't kill the old people.
No, he doesn't. Because home dude was asleep. She was making a sandwich, right?
Yeah, as
out
you do.
of some fresh ham from a really cool cutting board that comes out of the fucking
old school, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a total grandparent's house. Yeah. They're like, hey, would you make me a sandwich? No, you're not even awake.
Harold, the news is on.
Yeah, they're still watching, what movie was it? Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
That was, and of course you could have looked at that and been like, oh man, Carpenter's going to do Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Because they were watching The Thing from Another World.
Right.
In the first one. So yeah, she freaks out, screams, and then he's walking still, and he's creeping on that one chick that's talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Because she comes out and she's like, Mr. and Mrs. blah, 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 are you okay?
Well,
and they don't say nothing. Why the fuck not?
Right.
It's weird.
So is this the girl where she gets the call that there's been murders going on?
Yeah. She's like, I didn't know that was going on. We're going to have a party at my house.
Yeah, and then she's like, they didn't catch him.
Yeah, turn on the radio.
And then there he is.
Yeah, he opens the door and kind of hangs out, and then she's the first one. Because then he's like a little bit more menacing than he was as far as going directly for the kill almost.
Yeah, he does set it up a little bit. Like you said, he leaves the door open. She walks towards it. Yeah,
hello? Yeah, if there was a killer in the neighborhood and my door was mysteriously open, I would have been like,
time to leave.
Go. And I've been running I turn off the light when I'm...
These people have not watched enough horror movies. That's the problem.
Not. There's no Ted Bundy.
Yeah, there's no... the cast of that kid from Scream needs to be there to tell them the rules.
Yeah, the rules.
And then maybe old McTits wouldn't have got fucking boiled.
McTits. From now on, any chick that shows tits in a movie, we got to call her McTits. Yeah. They're still looking for him, and that's whenever basically they load her up. Yeah,
you're talking about Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, they take her to the hospital. They put her in the back and take her to the hospital. Loomis ends up hooking up with the cop.
Right.
And then they go looking for Michael.
Yeah, he could be anywhere.
And then that's when he jumps out of the car because they think stop the car. It's him. I think it's him. And then he pulls out his gun. Yeah. And it's some kid.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know yet because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this police car going like 50 miles an hour through a suburban area.
Yeah.
With kids on Halloween walking down the street and just kicks this kid out.
Well, they do the radio
Ben
deal.
Kramer.
Yeah. Well, they do the radio deal where he's like, you need to get back down over here. And he's like, I'm over here. And he's like, where are you? So that's probably why he was in a hurry. So he could get like right
I
there.
don't care. You're driving through like...
Doesn't make sense.
Kids.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
So yeah, and he hits like fucking Horace Pinker's van or some shit like that, the TV repair van. Fucking totally explodes.
Because 80s.
Yeah, and then the dude gets out, he's like, I didn't even see him, he came out of nowhere. And fucking...
Didn't even see him because I was going 50 miles an hour.
Down the residential with my lights not on.
Right?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, and so he's fucking burning. They're like, is that him? You can't fucking tell.
No, because he's on fucking fire.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like he's the only thing on fire out of that whole fucking thing, too.
And this is where he gets the information that his daughter died, right? Like
Yeah.
his daughter was the one that was killed.
Yeah, the other
Sorry,
cop.
I'm not even talking to the microphone. My bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the cop does pull up and is like, "Hey, we found your daughter at your house." And
It's
he's
Annie.
like, "What?"
Yeah.
So they both hop in, and fucking Loomis is like, "Oh, let's go," and they all get there, and that's whenever they're showing like the what is it? The woman walking by, the producer woman. She's like, "Oh,
Well,
get
no,
get statements."
he goes off. The sheriff dude runs off, and he leaves him with that deputy dude.
No, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
after he saw him.
Yeah.
They get to the house and
I'm
they're
sorry.
pulling her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pulling Annie out because she's got her slit throat and everything.
Right.
And he's like, "No, you did this," and he's like, "No, I didn't. I told him."
You let him go. You knew about it. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I did know about it. I told him not to let him out.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "I told him a million fucking times."
Right.
Fucking dope that motherfucker up and chain him.
Yes.
But they didn't, of course. So basically,
Then we cut back to the hospital, I think.
yeah, Brackett's like, "Oh, I got to go tell my wife." I guess they're all at the country club or some shit.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
the
what you
fuck's
do
going
on Halloween when you're in Haddonfield. You're like, kids, get out there and knock on doors. We'll be at the country club.
Yeah, so then he's with Deputy Hunt.
Yes,
right?
that's his name.
Okay, so yeah, and he's like the dude. He's like actually a stand-up fucking deputy too. He's
Yeah,
like, no, we're gonna go keep looking.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
all over it.
Yeah,
But then we cut back to Lori with Jimmy.
yeah,
Old Jimmy, he's in love.
yeah. He's like, oh,
That was a quick falling in love too.
I know, right?
He's got like a hero complex. Oh, this girl's in trouble.
She's in peril, but yet we were at the same school together.
Yeah, I was. You remember me, right? I was on the student council and almost on the swim team. Oh wait, no, that's another movie.
I was almost on the swim team.
Almost. Anyways,
Yeah. Home dude is like, "Do you know her?" And he's like, "Yeah, I went to school with her." And she's just like catatonic at that
Yeah.
point. She goes in and out of catatonia.
well, as you would when you've been probably, I mean, that's probably a big deal to go through. Is having some serial killer like trying to kill you and a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
A couple kids that you're watching.
Right. And
Yeah.
I like how the dude with the ghetto blaster is walking across the street like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like he keeps forgetting something, you know? And it's like, oh, the killer's still on the loose, and he runs into him. And it's like, "Wing!"
And that's where Michael learns about where she's at because
She's
they
at the
even say
hospital.
that she's been taken to the hospital.
But it's Halloween, so he's in a mask. It
Yeah.
doesn't have blood on it or
No.
anything like that, and he can pretty much do whatever he wants to. So he hooks a left on fucking Hospital Drive. You know what I mean? He can read.
Well, because he is kind of smart. Because like when he gets to the hospital, like the first thing he does is he cuts the phones, disables the cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, like he had enough time. Because
the dude was 8 when he went to the mental hospital. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
where did all this knowledge come from?
Yeah, I know.
You
He's
what I
like,
mean?
"Where's the phone line?"
Exactly.
Yeah, he was lying in wait, as Loomis says.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and that's the thing too. Is I mean, obviously he's otherworldly to some degree. In some degree, in some
Supernatural.
fashion, supernatural.
Yeah.
He's got super preternatural intelligence.
which is so weird because the hospital is pretty big. They got quite a few levels.
But there ain't no fucking people there.
No.
Just Lori and like a handful of
The one
nurses.
nurse and the other nurse.
There's 4 nurses total.
Yeah, there's the skittish nurse. which gets the radio.
Right.
There's the McTits.
Then there's the blonde nurse who's like inquiring stuff like and finds the guy with the in his eye.
Yeah, the needle in his eye.
Yeah. Or no, she gets the needle in her eye, right?
No, she gets a needle in her head.
Yeah, that's right, in her head, because apparently that'll kill you.
Yeah, well, he just puts air in there.
Yeah.
So air in the fucking brain.
Man, this guy is smart.
I know, right? How would he know that shit?
Fucking intelligent.
He's like, oh, if I put air into the bloodstream, guess what? They're gonna die. Yeah, right.
Right after I cut the phone lines.
Yeah, and like fucking take the distributor caps off of every one of the cars in the Volkswagen. Yeah, but yeah, no. So they're the inept fucking security guard, the one that's eating like Doritos and reading fucking like a comic book and shit, like an old Guns and Ammo mag.
Right.
Yeah, because Home Dude keeps going into Lori's room and is like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, oh my God, I love you. You know, it's like that quick.
The interaction between the two paramedics, like the one dude's like a fucking dick.
Just smoking weed, dude.
Yeah, he's just smoking weed in the fucking cafeteria with, of course, there's nobody there, so who gives a shit, I guess.
Right.
It's Halloween. There's like, I don't know how many people live in Haddonfield, but obviously it's not very many.
Yeah.
You know, because there's nobody at the fucking hospital.
Yeah, hardly anybody gets hurt, but we do see one person come in that's hurt.
That is true.
And that's before Lori gets there, isn't it?
Is it?
The dude or the little kid with the fucking problem with his mouth, because he gets discharged too.
Yeah.
So there's at least one more doctor there.
Yeah, at least one.
Okay, this was kind of weird.
Another coffee.
Yeah. yeah. Keep it coming. Keep the coffee coming. Because of course the doctor was at the country club getting loaded. He's a little drunk, you know, Groucho Marx style. So, yeah, they're going through all of that stuff, and there's that one nurse, the head nurse, you know, the ward nurse or whatnot, that's like trying to keep everybody in check.
Right.
Telling Home Dude, hey, you got another call. You need to go fucking pick somebody else up.
Right.
We got more bodies. And it's Ben Tramer, right?
Yes.
And then that's when Loomis is like, yo.
Ben Tramer of getting hit by police and bursting into flames. Fame, yes.
Michael Myers 3. And somehow he's got the same fucking mask.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He got it from the same store because Michael Myers stole the mask the first time.
Absolutely.
In the first movie. So he says, get a dentist and meet me at the hospital as soon as possible.
Because he's trying to determine whether it's Michael or not.
Correct. So then they determine...
But that guy's not as big as Michael.
No.
Like, couldn't they just tell from that? You know, like... That
Michael
guy's
Myers
not the same size.
Yeah, he's 21 years old in this, right?
Right.
21, 22 is what they say, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, he's still kind of in the prime. Michael Myers is. And the dude's like, this is, see no cavities. So this guy might be like 17, 18. And they're like, oh, that's not him.
Right.
Well, he's still out there. And they're there.
And is that where they get the call to go to the elementary school?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they end up at the elementary school. What the fuck was Michael Myers doing at the elementary school? He never went to school. Yeah,
well, he did.
Yeah,
but I don't remember like him doing. Anyways, But they find that where it's like Sam Hain written in blood, and that's supposed to be the where we think he's like magic, supernatural now. You know, because Sam Hain's like the spirit of Halloween or whatever.
Yeah. It's a Gaelic festival marking the end of the harvest season and beginning of the winter of the dark half of the year.
Right.
So why would he write Sam Hain on the fucking, blackboard in blood? Where did he get the blood at? Where was the fucking blood from? Was it from him?
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, because he breaks in and he crawls through the window or whatnot, and there's still some dude like fucking doing the floors in there. You notice that? Because the nurse comes in and she's like, "You gotta go, bitch," and he's like, "No, I don't want to." Well, I got a marshal out here that says otherwise, And this is, this is after we get to see the inept fucking security guard. Fucking fall for every goddamn jump scare there is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's none of the locks are done because Michael Myers ain't picking locks. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Maybe he can.
Maybe it's that Sam Hain shit. You know what I mean?
Sam Hain taught him.
So yeah, it's like basically, I don't know.
Well, and then they come and pick Loomis up, right? That lady does.
Yeah, she does at the school.
Did we talk about that already?
Yeah,
Did
well,
you
that's
say that?
that's where we were at. But yeah, and then
and who the hell? I know she worked for the same place. The mental institution.
Yeah, because that was like the day before that she
Right.
got attacked by him.
Right.
All right, cool. So she comes back down to because the doctors want him to come back.
The governor.
Yeah, why?
Right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
think it was
governor
like-
said, "Come back." Why the fuck would the governor care?
Yeah, and I got a marshal with me.
Yeah.
Because it's gone statewide. Everybody knows about the babysitter murders.
Yeah, but I mean, why would you want Loomis to stop looking for him?
Right. He's the one that should know.
Yeah.
So
Loomis is like, yeah, well, fuck you. I
Yeah.
got a gun, bitch.
Yeah.
Turn the fuck around.
yeah. That cop's like, all right, boss. Fucking.
Do you know this area?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah. So they whip a bitch and end up fucking going back. But this whole time, Lori's like,
Did we get to McTits yet?
not yet, not
Okay,
yet, because
this is my favorite part.
well, yeah, because
Old McTits.
yeah, McTitt shows up because she's late,
Yeah.
and the head nurse is like, "You're late again."
Yep. And she's like 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Or
Wasn't
whatever
that bad? Because she comes in and looks at home dude that was in the fucking break room,
Yeah. She likes him,
and she's like, "Hello,"
which
And I was
he's
like,
kind of like, he's a dick. He's
I know.
a total fucking misogynistic dick.
Yeah, because he scares the fuck out of McTits
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that point too.
Old McTits.
Yeah, because he hits the nurse button, it scares the fuck out of her. It's like me.
Right.
So yeah, she goes into the room and he scares the fuck out of her, and then he's like, "Come on, baby, let's go sit down in the hot tub in the therapy room." She's like, "No, I got fucking people to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe if I leave the door open. No, maybe I'll hear one of the kids." So apparently there's kids because there's babies there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Myers goes into the baby room and sees her,
Right.
but then also he's always that shape that's in the background, which is so
Right.
cool. And they don't see him, of course
not.
and then he kind of disappears.
But I love it because then they get in the little therapy hot tub thing. And of course, he goes and turns the temperature up to past 130 degrees or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
And
well-
she's like, "It's hot in here." No, really, it's hot.
Would you go turn it down? And he's like, "Come on, baby. I want to get something wet." And
He's like, "But I love your McTits."
yeah. So she's like, he goes in there and he gets fucking killed. Does he get his throat slit? I don't know.
I think he chokes him.
Yeah, something.
I don't know. One of the
Yeah.
cuts him, chokes him,
Yeah,
whatever.
and then he comes in and
He's
she's
killing
like,
all the bitches.
yeah, and like McTits is sitting there like fucking in a
Drying
towel.
off, in her towel and shit.
and not
And she
getting
thinks
dressed.
it's him.
Yeah.
Because he comes up and she grabs his hand.
Yeah, she's like, oh, hello. I don't think Michael Myers has ever gotten that close to someone.
Well, and he just left it for a while. So kind of like, if you've ever seen, this is going to sound bad, but if you've ever seen like a mentally ill person, like be touched more than they are, you know what I mean?
it's unusual
They're
for him,
unusual
yeah.
for him. And because he pulls his hand away like really quick at the end of it.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, oh,
yeah, I was
I'm
like,
supposed
wait
to
a
be
minute.
killing bitches.
Yeah, and then he's like,
And then he shoves her head into the
Yeah.
fucking 140 degree fucking water at
so
this point.
he like drowns her and burns her at the same time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
she's
his
all
hands
fucked
is
up. Well, he's
okay.
got, he's fucking supernatural.
He's got mutant healing.
He's been
powers.
shot 7 times or 6 times
Yeah.
or whatever.
however many
A
times.
lot of
been
times.
stabbed.
He's
and-
been, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So she's fucking dead. If she's not
Old
dead.
McTits is dead.
Yeah. So if McTits ain't dead,
And she had a
she's-
healthy set.
Yeah, she did. She did.
In true 80s horror fashion.
Go 80s.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they wanted in this movie
Well,
too.
of course.
They wanted more
They wanted
TNA
McTits, yeah.
because fucking Friday the 13th had already come out.
And lots of McTits in that one.
Yes, and so that's whenever he's still kind of slinking through the hallway. You know, it's very claustrophobic the way that they do it too.
Yeah.
Because he's not fast.
No.
And Laurie's like,
But he is super sneaky.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So this is whenever he goes
and does
in.
things very quietly, apparently, because like he's always like just a room away or behind some glass,
Right.
killing fuckers, and nobody knows it.
No, nobody can hear. Nobody in the hospital. Nobody can hear you scream.
Yes.
Nobody wakes up. The old fart down the road with the heart disease.
Right.
He's not hearing shit. The old lady's not coming out of her room being like, "What is this?" Nothing. Everybody's asleep because it's got to be like at this point, it's probably got to be like 11:30. Right. I don't think it's quite 3:00 in the morning yet.
No.
So they're basically like still doing their thing, and that's whenever the one nurse has the radio, of course, and so she's running. She comes out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, because she dies.
When does the head nurse die?
We don't see that on screen.
No, that's right.
That's
Jimmy
whenever
finds her.
Yeah, Jimmy
and
walks
then he slips
in
on the blood like a douchebag.
Yeah,
no. I thought he died there. Like that was it.
Yeah,
because he like falls over. There's a little blood coming out of his mouth. I'm like, oh, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, but he's all covered in blood because he hit his head too hard on the cement.
Right.
He's like, "Whoa!"
Which would suck. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but come on,
knocked him the fuck out. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like he saw all the blood, but then he tries to fucking Scooby Doo it out of there.
Yeah.
And fucking slip. Whip, boom.
Yep.
So he's all fucked up. So and then that's when Michael's chasing Lori because she's all fucked up on drugs because she's been telling him the whole time, "Don't put me to sleep," and they do. But she escapes because she does the old pillow trick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
because you think she's about to bite it right there.
But she isn't.
No, because she ain't there. She's just a bunch of pillows.
Yeah. Michael stabs her like fucking 6-7 times.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, bamboozled."
Where's your supernatural powers now?
Yeah. Couldn't smell her? So they're going through the underground part of it. I guess the basement.
Right.
Right? And she finds a window out of nowhere. Crawls through that fucking window, right? Falls down because she bumps into the fucking inept security guard.
Right.
He's hung by the trouble light.
Yes.
So, which that was connected. I don't know why Home Dude had to walk all the way outside. He could have just went down to the basement and walked around because he was checking on the phone system.
Right.
And every single fucking lock and everything down there was undone.
Right. And I like because he's like talking. He's like,
go down to the fucking police station. She's like, "I don't know how to work this.
How
it
do
doesn't
you work
work
this thing? I
That-
can't."
But that was the second radio that I noticed that fucking worked like shit.
Yeah.
Because the first cop radio worked like shit, and then that one worked like shit.
That's his supernatural power to shut down fucking radios.
Yes, it's the power of Sam Hain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We figured it out. You're welcome, people.
I mean, Michael moves so slow. He could have caught her at that point. Movie ends.
Yep.
No more Laurie Strode. He just walk away, right? But no, he like barely like, oh, and the elevator shuts on him. It doesn't reopen. Like if you're like, whoa, hold that elevator,
Right.
and then the elevator opens back up, and she would have been like, oh shit. But
Well,
no,
he didn't know that.
yeah. So he pulls his handbag and is like, damn it. So he's got to take the stairs, and she's still running around. Doesn't she go upstairs at one point too and pass out?
For like a half a second or something.
Yeah, like she passes out because she can't see. Because that's right. That's before they get into the chase down at the bottom. Because Myers has Michael Myers has the fucking scalpel.
Yeah.
And that's when he impales the fucking one nurse.
Yes.
That's because she goes outside and notices the cars are all fucked up. She runs back in and is like, "Lori, what are you doing?" Because they were looking for her.
Right.
That's where, Larry or whatnot falls down and goes boom.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. And
Old Jimmy.
yeah, so she
So she gets out of the building basically and goes and hides in Jimmy's car.
yeah, and then he shows up.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, okay, let's get out of here." And then he passes out
Yeah.
and just lands on the horn. So guess what? Michael knows where they're at now.
Yeah, of course. But he's still walking up the stairs.
Yeah, yeah.
He had to find the stairs.
But he doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
But he couldn't have waited for the next elevator. You know what I mean? Press
He
the
doesn't
down
know
button.
about elevators.
Yeah.
Sam Hain did not give him the knowledge of elevators.
Well, yeah, okay.
By the way, just a short elevator PSA here. Whenever I get in an elevator, I always look to see who the manufacturer is. Otis elevators are the way to go. Otis was the guy that invented the brake for the elevator.
Oh.
So I always know that there's a brake.
Oh. If there's an Otis elevator.
Yeah, so there you go. PSA. Use an Otis elevator.
Nice. So that's whenever Loomis, the nurse, and the marshal show up, right?
Yeah.
Because she's outside, but she can't scream.
No.
Right? When they show up, she's like...
Yeah. Like, she's just...
they get inside.
As soon as the door shuts, she's like, help me!
Yeah, then she screams. And then there's Michael.
Yep.
He's shooting hoops in the parking lot and shit. Just kind of hanging out in the dark, getting his game on.
He was up to no good.
Right.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
And see, and Jimmy's still alive, but yet he's passed out on the wheel.
Yeah.
And she runs up to the door and starts banging on it, of course.
As you do.
And they're like, no. They're right there, too.
Right.
They don't hear that shit. And that's when fucking the one cop turns around and is like, holy shit, there's somebody at the door. So they run over there, right?
Right.
Because the way he gets into the whole thing, don't you have to be buzzed in? But he goes in through the back door.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's weird. So I thought that since he hit the buzzer door, he went through the back door too. Same time. I don't know.
Right.
So yeah, of course they let her in. She's running. She's like, he's right behind me, and
then Loomis fucking unloads on him again.
Well, he walks through the fucking plate glass window like it was nothing.
Exactly.
He doesn't even kick it or do nothing. He just walks straight through it.
He's a force of nature.
Right, and then
he is the embodiment of Same.
He is evil, pure and simple. And then that's whenever they shoot him. He's like, get the fuck away from him.
Right?
Yeah, the cop's like, oh, he's not dead. He's still breathing. Get away from him.
And then he kills the cop.
Yeah, of course.
He the marshal or whatever he is. Yeah.
He pulls a fucking MMA move and fucking slits his throat. It's like, Saya! And that's, of course, what happens to the nurse? Does she run?
I thought so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what happens to her. She doesn't die.
But he starts chasing after Lori and Loomis.
Yeah.
And then
oh, yeah. Marion jumps over him and runs outside.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She runs to go get more cops.
That's right. Because they send her.
Yeah, it's like, go.
As you do.
He's like, all right.
Cool, I get to leave. I'm out.
Yeah, get on the radio and call the other cops. And they're like, all right,
that's
cool.
right, because she's out there. That's right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So they go into some operating room or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, and that's where he stabs Loomis with that scalpel.
Yeah, right in the gut. Yeah, and because he gives Lori another gun.
Right.
Where did he get the other gun from?
Was that not his gun?
No, because he had his own gun, and then he gave her a gun because there was 2 guns.
The marshal's gun.
He didn't go pick it up.
I'm pretty sure that was what it said on one of the things I read.
It's kind of weird.
I don't remember that, but I just remember reading that.
Yeah, kind of weird because he's still got that cigarette lighter that he had from earlier.
Right.
The yellow lighter. The John F. Kennedy lighter. So and they go into some weird fucking operating room. And Lori's there, and that's whenever he stabs him, throws him down, and Lori fucking is an excellent shot.
Yeah, who knew? Laurie Strode, fucking sharpshooter from 20 feet or whatever.
Right. Nails him in both
eyes.
Both eyes.
Yeah.
So he can't see, and he's just sitting there
He's just swing, but mean swings though, because if he would have hit you with that, you'd have been fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for it, and then Loomis is like, "Okay, go now." And she runs out the door.
Before that, they start opening all the gas valves.
Yeah, the ether and the oxygen, and everything like that.
And as he hears them, he's going towards them.
Yeah,
and then the other one will do it, and he'll start walking back the other way. And of course, that all leads up to Loomis pulling out the yellow lighter, and
this ends here,
and that motherfucker explodes.
Fuck yeah, it does. It knocks the fucking walls down and shit.
Yeah, and
of course, Michael comes out walking
on fire.
Damn, he is fucking a badass. Complete 100% fire, and he falls down. Boom, done.
Right.
And you're like, all right.
And then that's it. They
She's-
put her in a thing. They're taking her to another hospital.
Yeah. So that was technically supposed to be the end of Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's what was the intention, right? Like, let's finish this story.
They really end it right there.
Right. And of course you assume that Loomis is dead as well.
Yeah.
Because, he exploded the whole place and
Yeah.
he's not supernatural. Or is he?
Or is he? Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Because
coming back.
yeah. So and it also says that Jimmy was alive because he was in the back of the ambulance too.
That was only in the TV version.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
But
That was what we were talking about at the beginning.
yeah,
And that's the end of the movie.
and that's Halloween 2.
2. The movie that no one wanted to make except for the studio.
Yep.
But
the producer.
yeah, and of course what happened was, like as we talked about, Carpenter kind of was done with it after that, Really. They
Yeah.
did Season of the Witch.
Well, because that's the one that Nick Castle directed, right?
Right.
And that's the one that has Tim O'Hillary,
Hillary.
or Hillary.
I don't know what it is.
And Lance Guest, and man, that was your connection.
And I actually, like, when I saw Halloween 3, did not like it when I was a kid, because I think as a kid I was expecting Michael Myers. But as I watched it when I was older, I was like, this is badass. It's different.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually I like this one.
2?
Yeah, I still do, and I really would almost want to put it with the David Gordon Green one.
Okay.
As canon, just because. Why the fuck not? But
Yeah, I mean,
you take away the ending, right? And then you could.
Sure.
Him being burned, but he was burned in the last one too. So.
Yep.
So yeah, this is not because they retconned it, so it's not really a number 2.
It's
I don't
definitely
know.
still a deuce, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Not in a
yeah.
bad way. It's just, it was the second film. It picked right up where the first one left off.
See, they didn't do that with any of the other slasher movies. It was always something past.
Yeah.
So that was fresh for a slasher movie,
Which,
But-
again, was different than the script they originally wrote.
Yeah, but what you got to think too is when Halloween came out, in the time that Halloween, the first one came out, there was at least 150 slasher movies to come out before Halloween 2. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was like fucking everywhere. That's all you had, which is kind of fucking crazy in a way, because that one came out in, what was it, 1978? So
The
from
original?
the original was October 25th, 1978. Which what's today?
23rd.
Oh, okay.
But you'll
Damn.
be getting this on the 29th?
Yeah, that's weird. So what's really weird about that is, you had like The Burning, you had fucking Friday the 13th, you had all these major movies to come out because of this one, but yet this one did something completely different than the rest of them did by having that continuation like right then.
Yeah, and I think, I think the coolest thing for me, and I know you and I talked about it, and we've mentioned it a little bit on here, is that, again, Carpenter and Hill didn't want to make this movie. They wanted to make this an anthology series.
Yeah.
Which we really kind of what we got with the next movie. Went completely different from the story, right? No Michael Myers. A little bit of tie-in with the mask, maybe. Depends. Yeah, whatever.
Some of
However
the
you wanna
masks,
look at that, yeah.
like sucked.
Yeah, but so for Carpenter in his mind, these characters were dead. Michael's dead. He said that in interviews.
Yeah.
Michael's dead. Loomis is dead. They're all dead. Of course, producers and film companies like to make money, so that's why we had Halloween 4 through 7 or whatever.
Yeah. How many fucking... yeah. No, 4 was cool because it was a return of Michael Myers.
Right.
5 was... What they did with 4 and 5 is they almost did the same kind of a deal
Where it
with
continued.
1 and 2, where it continued right where the other one left off.
So four was Return. Which one was Curse?
That was 6.
So Revenge.
Return 2.
Which one? Well, I'm saying which one was after Return?
Was it Revenge?
That's what I was wondering.
No, I don't think it's Revenge of
There
Michael Myers.
is a Revenge, isn't there?
No.
I think you're wrong. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween 5, sir.
God damn. Fucking Revenge.
Revenge of the Nerds.
They phoned that one in, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
God damn. The Return, the Revenge, and the Curse.
Yes.
Were all 3 in a row. So that was 88, 89, and 95.
Okay.
Were those. So you had 78, 81, 88.
And that's where we really got into the
mythos.
Yeah, like the occult version of it.
Right. Which, yeah,
we learned maybe where Michael got these supernatural powers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to bring out the big guns and have an Ant-Man take on Michael Myers.
Yeah, well, Ant-Man reprising the role of Tommy Doyle,
yeah.
who was the kid that Laurie Strode was watching during Halloween, the original. And that was, like, I think you mentioned earlier, I don't know if it was in the podcast or when we were talking, that was Paul Rudd's first movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally, 100%. Yeah. That was Paul Rudd's first one as, what was his name? Paul Anthony Rudd.
yes, his full name.
Yeah. Paul Stephen Rudd. Yeah, That was his first movie. So, yeah. Kind of weird. And then you have H2O, which was... Fuck.
That was the one with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
And, yeah, where she's in California. And apparently Michael can get from Illinois to California pretty easily.
Yeah, he just got to put out his thumb.
Yeah.
You got to obey the rules of the road.
He's giving blowjobs to truckers.
Yeah. I'll take a shot in the mouth if it gets me further down the road. God damn.
Fucking gotta love George Carlin.
Which, yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, he got to act with... Loomis, fucking Donald Pleasance, Paul Rudd did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in his last movie. And then Hartnett is actually a pretty good actor. He was really good in Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, he's got a show now. It's a Spectrum original called Paradise Lost. And it's a horror film based in Louisiana, or a horror series based in New Orleans.
Huh. Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah, let's throw that out there.
Yeah.
But, so that one's the one where she cuts off his head with an axe, right?
Yeah. Completely, 100%.
Then he comes back.
Yeah, how does he come back in Resurrection?
Yeah.
She, like, fucking axes his motherfucking head off. And, like, his eyes are, like,
resurrected.
Yeah. Which is fucking weird.
And I don't know, honestly, the premise of Resurrection. I don't.
Well, yeah, they were supposed to spend the night in the Myers house.
Oh, that's the one with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they...
So how does he get resurrected?
I don't know.
And they don't...
I don't remember.
Sam Hain?
Yeah, I don't think anybody remembers that
cult
shit.
Of whatever it was. I can't remember.
He lives in the walls or something like that.
Who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
Freddy brought him back in your nightmares.
Well, then you got the zombie Halloweens, which were pretty good.
Yeah, I watched the first one, and I think I may have watched the second one, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I don't remember the second one from shit, man. I really don't. I really am kind of like, huh.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, and not that they were bad, but I was just like, yep, it's Halloween.
And you know what? And I think...
I didn't feel like it added anything new.
No, I think the Halloween 2... pretty much had the same kind of curse where Rob Zombie didn't even want to do the second one. But they were like, oh, it was so successful. But he was like, Carpenter's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, man. I don't give a shit.
Let me, and there is another little thing about this Halloween 2 movie, and I mentioned it to you, but let me see if I can find it. I don't have it. I don't know that I had it up or in front of me or anything. Yes. So, there are actually some real-life murders called the Halloween 2 murders.
Really?
Yeah, it was a guy in California murdered an old couple. Boyer was his name. And his defense was that he suffered from hallucinations brought on by the movie Halloween 2, which makes me really... Okay, so bad, obviously. By the way, he was under the influence of PCP, marijuana, and alcohol, and he got sentenced to death because that's a stupid way to fucking try to defend yourself, and you probably shouldn't just go around killing people. But yeah, that was called the Halloween 2 Murders. But what I find really funny about that and the wording from that court case is those exact words, right? Hallucinations brought on by the movie Halloween 2. If you remember when we did our Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 episode, the song by Annihilate that we played was called Drayton Sawyers and his hallucinations brought on by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. So yeah, that's just like the wording was like, yeah, I didn't realize they went that deep with it, is what I'm saying. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but that was a big deal. I know Joe Bob Briggs did did you ever watch that Monster Vision show?
Yeah,
he did a little section on those murders.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
that's so weird. The way people take things literally, or it's the Twinkie defense.
Yep. Well, and I think a lot of people at the time were like trying to, we shouldn't watch horror movies, and people were like, no, you should not ban horror movies.
Yeah. No.
In fact, there's a quote, I don't remember if it was in the Wikipedia or in something, and I like the quote so much because it made sense with everything. Let me see if I've got it saved. Give me just a second.
Did you know they had a Halloween video game on the Atari 2600?
No. That would be terrible.
I don't know. It didn't even have
the Atari 2600. It would have been terrible.
Oh yeah, it would have been.
Did you ever play the Indiana Jones game, the Raiders of the Lost Ark game?
That sucked too.
Oh, it was fucking terrible.
All of them sucked
because they're fucking blocks.
Yeah.
So okay, I did have this. I screenshotted this earlier because I love the quote. It's from like the people defending horror films, basically, or not. I don't know if it was so much defending horror films, but more rejecting the idea of banning horror films. It would be silly, after all, to ban horror films just because Boyer claims to have thought he was reenacting Halloween 2, or to ban cars because Texas housewife Clara Harris intentionally ran down and killed her husband. Nor does it make sense to ban otherwise useful items such as drugs or guns just because some individuals misuse them. Like, that's a great quote, dude.
Yeah, I know. But yet...
Anyway, so that's not really...
But yeah, like, later on down in the 80s, fucking, you had...
Tipper Gore?
Tipper Gore. And the Parents Against fucking Shitty Media or something.
Don't play those albums backwards. They got the devil.
They got the devil in them.
Yeah. Mm. Well, what'd you think? I mean, how many Fall Guys would you give this?
I would give this one a good solid 3 Fall Guys.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
3 out of 5.
I'd give it a 3 out of 5 Fall Guys as well.
Just because it really did kind of expand enough to where you were like, damn, that dude's badass.
And and that's the other thing, and I think the other reason that I like it is if you just took the first 2 movies, it's a good story.
Yeah. You leave it as it is.
You don't have to go into all the other stuff. And I'm not saying that's great. They built on it and did whatever they want. They should have made that a little easier to follow.
Yeah, in the 1980s, this slasher movie was because of Halloween.
Right.
That was the tits.
Progenitor.
Yeah, that was McTits all over. You know what I mean? And that kind of threw in the trope of the sexual purity thing.
Well, and that was kind of the idea too of even Laurie Strode in the first one, right? Mm-hmm. She was innocence.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Of course, there wasn't any tie to her being the sister or anything like that until this movie.
Yeah.
When she finds that out.
Yeah. Well, then they show that.
I don't know
flashback.
that we talked about that.
Well, they did a little flashback where she's like looking at him in the mental institute or something.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
But they even say that, to her eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that wasn't there, but it was all that she survived because she was an innocent. Like the other people, were
They were the ones that were like
Causing
fucking
the
around.
internet, yeah.
Like
McTits.
yeah,
the
McTits.
original McTits.
Yeah, PJ Souls. She's like, oh my God, you got a sheet over your head. Do you like what you see? And he's like, so overall, though, I'm in this. This is my third favorite Deuce.
Yeah,
really, because House 2, I love
House 2 was good.
Yeah,
I will put it as my third as well, but not because of House 2. It'd be because Return of the Killer Tomatoes, of course.
Ooh, yikes! But if anybody has
above Conan the Destroyer,
yes, way above Conan the Destroyer, even though that's pretty badass, but above. This is
It's no Conan the Barbarian.
No. If anybody out there has the 2600 version of Halloween and an Atari 2600,
I have an Atari 2600 in pristine condition with not only the joysticks but also the paddles and about 30 games.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We might have to
So you
wait.
can just send us the game.
Yeah, just send us the game, please, so we can play that shit. Because I want to play the fucking Halloween game. And also the same company that made that one, Wizard fucking Video.
Okay.
They made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre
For
Atari 2600.
what? No.
I know, right? I know. That's. I mean, if anybody has these games out there, I want to fucking play them. Even though it's one of the first horror themed games. Ooh. You're actually Leatherface in that.
In the what? That is crazy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at this Halloween game.
Each victim slain gives the player 1,000 points.
This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
I'm kind of in on that.
Oh my God! Anybody out there that has a beat on one of these games, we want it.
I'm and I'm going to see if we can. We'll have to see if we can pull this. I'd love to put a link. There is a video with the Atari 2600 footage on YouTube. We'll see if we can somehow link that to the website so you can check that out.
Yeah, we might even,
because who doesn't want to see that shit?
No, man, I want to be Leatherface. I'm Leatherface.
So maybe we'll put one to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one as well.
So if you have a copy of that game, let us know, or just ROM it and then send it in, and we'll get an emulator.
Okay. Well, you don't get to play Michael Myers.
No. You're one of the
babysitter.
babysitter.
Yeah, you're saving children.
Yeah. But fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre would be fucking awesome. So if you're listening out there, thank you very much. Thanks to all of our listeners, loyal listeners, and first-time listeners. Coming up, I'm pretty sure we're going to tackle the top 5 gangster movies.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be coming up in about a week.
Yeah. And then if you have an idea for a show or anything like that, we got a list that's longer than a giant's pinky finger.
That was a weird metaphor.
Yes, I know. So, like, we got a lot of stuff coming up. But if you have a suggestion, definitely send it to us. Hit us up on all the socials at Drop Culture Podcast. Just look it up on Google. You'll find us there.
Absolutely.
100%. Wherever we're linked, go to the World Wide Web and go to dropculture.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Poke around.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, mostly of all, happy Halloween.
This is, and enjoy this Halloween, guys, because this is the longest day of the year.
Yep.
And it's on a Saturday.
And
It's
you're
2020.
probably not going to have any kids knocking on your door.
And it's 2020.
Yes.
Unless you live in Texas, and then, yeah.
They don't care.
No big fucking deal.
Yep.
It's a hoax. So, everybody out there, sweet dreams. And if you're listening to this on Thursday, make it a point to Friday and Saturday to watch all the Halloween movies.
Or at least the first 2.
And the 2018 one.
And yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't have to watch all the curses and revenges if you don't want to. But you can, and then maybe maybe sometime we'll do a full series.
Yeah.
Like
I think
story breakdown. We've talked about that a little bit with doing that with maybe the Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and we talked about doing it with a special guest.
Yep.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you never know. If you guys have a copy of either one of these games, please
reach out.
Yes.
You don't have to send them for free. We'll pay for postage.
Yeah, at least. So, Mitch, we miss you, buddy. Wish you were here. And to everybody out there, see you later. Hey, that was only an hour and 14 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we fucking wrapped that up.